Hello, welcome back. We've had a bit of a break for the Christmas and New Year holidays and stuff. We did get a game in, so this is my High Elves against Amazons. There we are. So Amazons not having a great season this time around, and I was talking to my opponent after the game. We're talking about how Amazons get sort of harder to play the more leveled you get, because everyone else levels as well, and they pick up skills like tackle and mighty blow, which really hurt Amazons. So they just get more and more difficult to play because the opponents get better. Whereas at low team value, so first off, 1,000 team value, Amazons are just one of the best teams because they're so hard to knock over or do anything to. And it kind of just rebalances as teams level. So last season, Amazons did great, really hard to beat. This season, they're having a much harder time of it. But they go into this one, I think they were fifth in the table, and my High Elves are top. And we had kick-off here, so the Amazons chose to attack first. Inducements-wise, they took a Wizard and a Bloodweiser Babe, or Keg, as they're now called, since this rule set. So we're defending first. We've got two unleveled linemen and a wrestle lineman on the line of scrimmage. Got a block one and a kick wrestle lineman there as well. That's a very shallow kick. Well, I went shallow deliberately just because of how things were set up. I usually try and kick deep and then get in sort of between the ball carrier and the line of scrimmage. But because there was sort of no one here, if a blitz comes up, I could probably just win the game just like that. So I thought I'd kick shallow and see if that happened. It came up as a perfect defence instead. So the player who's just disappeared here is a dodge guard blitzer who's just about to go stand there. We've got a dodge tackle blitzer as well, and then we've got three catchers on the pitch who are a wrestle one, a nerve steel block one, and then this increasingly important player who has dodge, mighty blow, block and tackle, who's a catcher. They come with catch, of course, catchers. Other fourth catcher is on the bench, who's dodge and agility 5. Got an unleveled lineman there as well, and our thrower has sure hands. Just picked that up last game. This catcher had a tackle last game as well. I think that's the only new things we got. So we did get a perfect defence, so we're going to reset up, ready to defend here, but I don't want to overdo it going here because there's a 5 out of 8 chance this is going to be a touchback, and then the ball's going to be elsewhere, and if I just pile everyone over here, they could give it to one of these players and just run down here. So still going to be quite cautious. I moved my line of scrimmage where I'd offset. One of the benefits you get is you can shift everyone away, so I'm only going to give up one block plus one blitz. But we'll look at the Amazons when I finish setting up, which is now, I think. But they've got so throwback here who is sure hands and Hail Mary pass. They've got 3 guard players here. One's a line woman. We've got a blitzer with guard and a guard mighty blow blitzer, and a movement 7 mighty blow blitzer. So I was seeing the guard and the mighty blow players as priority targets, as well as this tackle line woman. So this is a block tackle line woman. This is an unleveled blitzer. But yeah, all the guard and mighty blow and tackle players were my main targets, which meant this one my priority. I've only got 1 guard and they've got 3, so I felt like if I could take some guard players off the pitch, I'd probably have an easier time of it in this game, because that was their main strength against me. And the 1 tackle player, if I can get rid of that as well, I can kind of run right with my dodge players without them having much they can do about it. Anyway, other players. Block line woman there. Wrestle line woman. Seen that block blitz. So they've got 2 agility 4 players. So one of them is a catcher. This is a line woman with strip ball, as well as that agility 4. And their bench is 3 unleveled players, I think. 2 line women and a catcher. There we go. So ball lands, does bounce out, so it's a touchback. And they give it to their thrower. So it's gone deep anyway. Which means if I'm going to play my normal way, I should probably be trying to get players in this thrower's face. And in hindsight, I should maybe have left the wrestle player here to reduce the chances of getting knocked over by that player. Instead, it looks like they are going to blitz with their tackle player, or one of my dodge players. Do get a knockdown. So I denied them one mighty blow hit with the perfect defense shift. They're starting to press forwards on this flank. I was defending more heavily on this flank where the ball were about to land over here. So the ideal scatter for me would have been it landed there. That's kind of what I was hoping for, but that obviously didn't go that way. That was 1 in 8 I was hoping for. So going a bit deeper, so you can kind of see already they maybe want to use Hail Mary pass, get as many players forward over here as they can, and then Hail Mary pass it. Especially with the way I play, that's probably a fairly good idea. If I'm going to pile players forwards to force them to do something with the ball, if they chuck it up here and they've got more players up here than me, they're probably going to be able to recover the ball when it lands somewhere on the floor. So I changed tack a bit and thought I'd see if I could do something about covering this space, which they're obviously trying to dominate. So blitz with my Mighty Blow catcher, which is a common feature of most turns that I play with this team. Always try and make sure this player's hitting somebody. Now I've come back in there for protection rather than coming forwards for pressure on the ball. That was an accidental 1 dice. What was I doing? I had the assist there, completely missed there was a guard player in here who could assist, wasn't paying attention properly, double clicked, rolled a skull on my single dice. Didn't have massively more to do with my turn, so just took that skull and should never have thrown that block. If I was concentrating, I wouldn't have done. So I left up a couple of hits back. This is a Mighty Blow player on my wrestle lineman. He's just knocked down, and that sets up 2 dice on this catcher as well. So I'd rather my catchers weren't getting hit like this. And if I'd completed my turn, I would have dodged probably both of those players away. And just a push on my blitzer there. So using dodge against Amazons sort of feels like justice in many ways, and I did point out to my opponent, isn't dodge annoying quite a few times during this game. But that's what Amazons almost deserve, really. There we go. So a couple of knockdowns, sort of 3 I think, but no one hurt. There was a stun off of my my turnover. And ball's gone. Come a little bit forwards. So if I stand this player up, that gives me 2 dice on this tackle player, who's a target, and with one of my tackle players as well. But this is my blitz. Looking at taking this guard out so I can get 2 dice here as well. And tackle being new for this play does get quite a lot of mileage out of it in this game. So I have to wrestle there to prevent the turnover. And then we come back to fill in this space. Because there could well just be a pass to this catcher and then run in. A normal pass rather than a Hail Mary one. Okay, and push that tackle player back. So I'm giving up some hits here. I've got I've got higher armor value, but that's about all I've got going for me in this. There's going to be a lot of 2 dice blocks coming my way with all the guard that they've got. And that catcher gets knocked down again, but he's okay. Yep, and that's a guard in there as well. And they're blitzing back here. So they're looking to maybe have a go at my guard blitzer. Rerolls that and gets a power. Not her again. And then, yeah, looking to outguard me here to try and prevent a hit from this player, I think. And that was a dodge through. It's into 2 tackle zones, so it was a 4+ dodge, but it did fail even with the reroll. And I think just looking to get free over here to just be a scoring threat. I put one too many players here on this. I only needed one to take that assist out because I'm going to hit this guard player with my big boy. So there's a bit of pressure on the ball. Just a push here. Should probably not have followed up because I shouldn't be leaving this player in that much danger. Went one dice. Oh no, it was two dice there. I'll put the assist in with the thrower. I wanted that tackle zone gone so I could move this player around here, and then blitzing there means I can push this player out. It's the idea. And then that's another player who can get forwards for pressure on the ball with just a 2+ dodge. And then dodge away there as well. And that's, yeah, possibly one too many players forwards. I could maybe do with a bit more support back here. When I go forward, sometimes I do get a bit excited and throw too many players forwards. I think I still do that. So I push back there so they can surf with their blitz, which is that one. Not hurt. So I'll be back next drive, but it does put them up a player for this drive. And then again, looking to surround this player with guard players to make it hard for him to hit anyone, but also they get a hit in as well. Okay, so thrower comes forward over here. Hits the Hail Mary pass. So if you don't know how Hail Mary pass works, you just, in this edition at least, you just have to roll 2+. It's a bit harder in new tabletop rules, but you just need to not fumble the ball, and it's automatically inaccurate even if you roll a 6, so it scatters 3 squares from your target. So that gives it 49 possible squares it can land in. So it's not great for trying to actually hit a player, but in situations like this where they're kind of a bit more in control of this end of the pitch than I am, it gives them an opportunity. It forces me to have to deal with the ball next turn, because they can just walk it in. It's automatically a turnover if you don't catch it, of course, and it's a very slim chance of catching a Hail Mary pass. There are things you can do to make it a bit easier. The diving catch skill helps, and more players that you can aim at helps. But I think a few 2+s and I can get this player standing over the ball. I didn't want another go for it to pick up because he'd just get surfed. So he's just going to mark the ball. So here I move my thrower a little bit closer to it, which is the idea. But I wanted, I think I was going to try and blitz this player first. So this was an assist going in. Oh no, I'd already blitzed. I can't remember what he was doing. Was he just going to go mark maybe? But failed to dodge with a 1-1, eating a team reroll and getting badly hurt. So that's my kicker out of the game, which is a shame. And then here they can just blitz here. So I get a pushback. And then this catcher can just score this turn. Catcher could also just come in here and try to hold the ball. That's pretty well protected. It would be quite tough for me to do much about it. It looks like they're just setting up contingencies in case the pickup goes wrong, or maybe they want to take more blocks first. If one of those goes wrong, it's going to be hard for me to get the ball. Do knock that wrestle catcher over and get some pick up, but do just stick it in. I could maybe have tried to hold it there for a turn or two. They definitely have more players there than I did. It would have been very tough for me to get the ball off of them. But they put it in anyway, take the touchdown while they've got the opportunity and go 1 up. I think that was turn 4 or 5 maybe. I did lose count a bit. So we've got the one out, no knockout so far. That's the only removal we've had. They had a surf as well, which didn't hurt anyone. Turn 5 it was, so it gives me 4 turns to try and score before half time. And then if you've kicked and you're going level, you're kind of ahead, because you should be expecting to score in your attacking drive in the next turn, which will put you up. And if you do that late in the half, you're probably going to win. So I am looking to make sure I level this with these next 4 by scoring in these next 4 turns. So I've offset the line of scrimmage, so I'm making sure my my guard player is in here. I've also got one of my tackle players in here to maximise the opportunity to knock down. The other one is going to blitz, and I think I'm looking at this guard mighty blow player who right from the start was a main sort of priority target. So that is a touchback. I think the weather roll contributed to that, so it goes straight to my thrower, who's the safest person to chuck the ball. So straight into a double skulls, which is nice. Reroll that for a power and a knockdown. And there's a knockout on one. Obviously going to stay out on leveled blitzer. So I had to take the both down there. That means I need to dodge this guy, because this guy was here to give assists on all those hits and then come and give an assist on this blitz as well. But I had to dodge him away in the end. That's just a stun. And dodge away to protect that player. I think am I putting someone else in here? Yeah, to protect the blitzer. And then just trying to look at protecting my flanks. They've got their quickest player over here, so I do need to watch for a breakthrough there. Should maybe move the ball over here. Nope, throwing the ball. Okay, so I do move the ball that way, but with a throw to the agility 5 guy, who's pretty well screened there. There's a good layer of players between him and the opponents. So both these 3 guard players going it straight into engage. So imagine we might see this player throw the blitz with tackle on this guy, but it's the assist instead. Thrower's going to blitz, so it's just on this lineman. So take the push. Follows up as well, so they're looking to shut off here. And my opponent here, I think they need to defend the width of the pitch more, because I'm so much quicker than them. I can very easily just move the ball over here next turn and leave them behind, because I'm outpacing them. So that's tackle preventing a dodge reroll and causing a turnover. I think that's the last action. But yeah, so straight away, just over here, hand off to this catcher. That's 1 in 36 to go wrong, so pretty safe opening action. And then I'm down here already. I think I went 1 square too far forwards, although I left him able to score without rolling dice next turn. But I think I need to go for it to properly shore up my cage here, which I think is this player. Yeah, I get that. Is I go for it now, or I go for it for the ball carrier next turn. And go for it's always foul when they're into the end zone, so try not to do those. So that's protecting that catcher. Blitzing with the main blitzer on the team, who's actually a catcher, just to be confusing. But no result as yet. So another player through to be another threat, and also an extra layer of screen for the cage. Dodging one time at a time, so if I need to use the dodge skill, I'd probably go round later. And then a couple of dodges out of there to get him away from the touchline. With 3+2+. Yeah, so I can just run it in next turn with no dice. Or I think it looks like they're looking to blitz this player and then get a marker on the ball. And I'd need to deal with this player as well now. So there's a double skulls, but re-rolls and gets a power, follows up, and yeah, that is a marker on the ball carrier who I need to deal with. And this player trying to come in here, so that is a 4+ dodge. So I went 4, which again is a foul. I had a foul 4+ in the first turn as well. What they've left me here though is a box. So if I can knock this player over, I can push them into this one to push away, and the ball carrier is free. And that is this player's job. So I've got a decent chance of a knockdown. I had to take it with the both down though, so I didn't get to push this player. And that means it'll be a dodge if I want to score this turn. And giving Amazons 1 turn back for an attacking drive is not a bad situation. But I am marking up here, putting some contingencies in case this is a double 1 to dodge away. I'll take that block first as well. With a block player, so fairly safe, although I should be making sure I've got the reroll available for this dodge. So probably a bit greedy taking these on. Yeah, because if this is a double skulls, I have to re-roll it, and then I don't, and then I've just a 2+ with no re-roll, which might mean I can't score. But we put it in anyway. We are successful, and it's 1-1 in turn 7. Skip some cutscenes. How are we doing with removals? I think there was 1 knocked out Amazon Blitzer. This guy's out. That's the kick player. And yeah, that blitzer doesn't come back. That was a 3+ roll. They failed. But it's 1 turn each to end the half. And we're just putting the most expendable players at the front. Even an elf lineman is a good player, but they're still my most expendable. Then anyone important goes back here. So I'm going to give up the 3 punches. So I'll be looking at using both their Mighty Blow players to hit linemen. This player is ready to catch the ball. He's going to be their best catcher. With a 2+ with a reroll. Extra reroll that I can't really use. In fact, I can't, because it puts me on 2 for 1 turn. Another double skulls. That is 3 double skulls the Amazons have had, which is unfortunate. I've only had the 1, but then I did have the double 1 dodge fail, which is the same odds. So there's a knockout from one of the Mighty Blow players. It was 9 followed by an 8, so I didn't need Mighty Blow for that one. And then here they can get 3 dice. I think if they'd put... Okay, they did the dodge there. Pushed along, followed. Yeah, if they put that player there, they could have had two goes of 3 dice at this player, but I didn't need it. Grab another knockout. And that one, we did note at the time, Mighty Blow would have made a casualty. Still 2 knockouts. This player's gone a bit far forwards, as we'll see in a second. Only had guard players left, so probably not worth a foul. A foul, rather, or fail. Just picks up the ball, uses sure hands, but then can't get the pass on target, so fumbles that one. That was nice weather. What was that? Oh, it wasn't a fumble. I think it just scattered back onto the thrower. Yeah, so this player's a bit far forward. I can reach with my my big hitter, so I'm going to go take that on. It's a guard player. It's one of my main targets. I do get the knockdown with tackle again for a knockout. And that's half time. So I'll see if knockouts come back. I get one of my linemen back who were just knocked out in that last turn, and I think that's the guard lineman who just got knocked out there as well. And we'll switch ends because it is the High Elves' turn to attack this half as well. So we're down to 11 players. Can go back up to 12 if that knockout comes back. Amazons are on 13 at the moment with one knocked out, but they're down a blitzer. I think we've gone fairly similar on the setup. We get a quick snap this time. So some players can go a bit towards the ball. This player coming in was a bit unnecessary because he's going to go forward on blitz anyway. And I'll be looking to get an assist out, assist on both of these players, and then afterwards for the blitz as well. All bounces there, so this guy's going to go cover it straight away, which is a good first move when you just received the ball. Just go down someone on the ball. There's a knockdown. Getting another knockdown out of tackle. And a pal there. It's a bit fortunate if that's a pushback, I can't hit the player that I want, which is this guard blitzer. So going in here, I'm marking tackle, which is a bit risky. But I want to hit this player. And do get a knockdown again with tackle. So I think that's 3 or 4 times tackles meant a knockdown here, and this time it means a casualty as well. Which is a badly hurt, which was Apothecary. Apothecary tried for the kill, but my opponent said no. So now I need to protect this blitzer, who's important. And they're probably going to get 2 dice with this tackle player, because all they need to do is step a guard in there. That will leave me some hits back, hopefully. And I'm looking here at holding the ball back here for a bit. So I'm going to go retrieve the ball with my thrower, chuck it to, I think, this guy. I would quite like either of these catches to score touchdowns, really. To score in the first half was this one. You could also use the points, but I think these two, I think need it more. I'd love to get a strip ball on this this blitzer catcher. A dodge would also be very nice. So I did get 2 dice on that blitz, so I didn't knock him over. This is a Mighty Blow player hitting a lineman for a stun. Another 2 dice there, it's another knockdown. And I am, as the High Elves, am 1 player up on this drive as we stand. So we're going to have some pressure on the ball here, so I'll need to move the ball next turn. And because of the close proximity, I really need to move the ball before doing anything else, before rolling any dice anyway. And that's that player fairly tightly marked. Here we are, I've handed off to the thrower. And then we're passing to this Nerves of Steel guy, I think. So no tackle zone penalties here. And then we're going to try and clear a path with my blitz. So another knockdown with tackle again. And that means I can push both of those tackle zones out. And then move on to be part of the screen. Because the ball's going that way. So the Amazons are concentrated a bit here. They'd come forward for pressure on the ball, but this was the biggest space on the pitch, so I just aimed for it with the ball. And that's a fairly effective screen in place. And dodging through there. And a quick 3+2+, a bit of elfing down here to dodge through tackle zones, which is always nice. And yeah, we're looking quite a good position. So still a wizard for the Amazons, and I think it's this turn that they use it. But you would conventionally, and this was a little bit, my opponent just not not knowing how they work, which is maybe a bit unfair of me. I kind of thought they did, so I didn't want to point it out. I also think when you go to use a wizard during your turn, it does flash up a warning. This is going to end your turn if you do it. But my opponent apparently didn't know that. So yeah, they do hit the wizard. But what you'd usually do with the wizard, and probably more often with a bolt than a fireball, is to try and create a situation where you're turning over a drive. So you take the ball off the opponent when they're attacking, so you can attack. It's a big game changer, like if it's used correctly. And the idea would be to use it at the beginning of your turn when you can then go and get the ball. This isn't really a great situation to do it, because if the ball's on the ground here, the Amazons don't have any way of recovering it. They need to be close enough to just go get the ball as soon as it's on the floor, and then move it away and score themselves. That's kind of the idea of how you use a wizard, and you'll usually use it at the beginning of your turn, because then you can go and do something with it rather than it just be a random hit on a player. But I think they used the wizard during their turn, not realizing it was going to end it, and that's why you use it at the beginning, so you can get the most out of it in that way. Okay, so a bit of guard locking down here. I think there's maybe a bit too much focus on what's going on down here when really I need to be coming to do this. Although they fireballed, got the ball carrier, who is going to miss the next game, which I don't really want to use an apothecary for, because I'm looking out for some things more permanent. But yeah, that ended their turn. So they had 3 or 4 players left to act with, and didn't realise that was going to end their turn. So here they've really not gained a lot. They've injured a player from the wizard, but they haven't gained a lot else. When really, yeah, it can shift the momentum of a whole game if you can turn over a drive, which is sort of how they're more commonly used. So we're hitting down here. So again, my main target is guard mighty blow player. Knocked over this time. Doesn't need tackle this time as well. I can move my blitzer out, who was a bit trapped, and that's another injury. That's a badly hurt, so that player is out of the game. I don't know if that one dice was an accident. I imagine it probably was. I don't tend to roll 1 dice blocks as a rule, but it was a push that time. And here I'm looking. This lineman's got 15 points, so I might as well try and throw a pass with him. And he levels. And it's on a player I'm still very happy to score with. It would be good to get this guy to block or wrestle. Haven't decided which yet. Probably block. Dodge has almost been far more effective for the Elves than the Amazons in this game, which is weird. I think I'm targeting very carefully with my tackle players to try and make that work. With one of my tackle players here preventing a dodge reroll, which was 1 dice on the ball, but they needed some dice to get there, and tackle helped them to not get those dice. So move it over here, out of reach of the Amazon players. This one can only get to there. This one can only get about here. But I'm going to be trying to hit this one anyway. But mark up. I think we're blitzing here. So because this player's got a block on, I'm going to blitz with my tackle player. So another important one to make sure I'm hitting Amazons with. Just to stun that time. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure every turn it's either this player or this player, pretty much, who's blitzed. Kind of got to always make sure you're using the tools that you've got. And against Amazons, the best tool you've got is tackle. So we get 2 dice with my thrower there. Follow up, and there's a 1 dice. Okay, using a 1 dice again, so probably a bit greedy, but we do get away with that one. So that's the guard back in there. That means they're going to Mighty Blow hit my blitzer, but it's just a push. And this player comes back this way. Amazons need more players over here. They've got to make sure I either score quickly enough so they can score again, or they can stop me scoring. So I hit my big guy with tackle. That's just a push. And now they do claim a bit of space here, which makes it dangerous for me to keep the ball this way. So I go for coming over here to threaten the ball. So 2 players who can reach the ball means I have to do something with it before I roll any dice. That's an assist going in there. That's who I want to go give the ball to. That's an assist going in there. So if I get stuck with a pushback when I blitz this player, I'm going to push them there so that they're pinned against the touchline. That's a fairly low risk pass. It would have been incredibly harsh if that had been a turnover, but it may have still happened. Do just get a push, so that player's going in there. And now I quite carelessly leave the ball carrier a little bit open. Get too concerned with that one to notice I've left a gap here for this player to just wander through. And don't really notice until it's too late. So I should probably be dodging this player away at the very least, although that's pretty shoddy play even in itself, like leaving that as what you can do. And one dice in again with him, just relying on those 2 pluses. Yeah, so thrower is in there. This player can reach for 1 dice on the ball. Dodges through, fails to go for it, then gets it just for a pushback. That's the player I have to deal with next turn. I've got 2 dice here, so I can pin this guy against the touchline. And again, hit my blitzer, but just for a pushback. And push back where he came from. One dice over there, works out okay for them. And then trying to dodge through. But there weren't any empty squares I could dodge to around here. Yeah, I should probably have blitzed with that guy, but then I thought, there's maybe a surf on here. I could, because if I pushed there, I could have pushed there. Maybe filled that square in and pushed off the pitch, but I ended up taking the power from this guy and not getting much out of it. So let's tackle on that player, and if they want to dodge into 5 tackle zones, they can try and do that with no reroll. And then a 3+2+ out with that dodge blitzer. Throw away as well. 3 rerolls on 3 turns. I may as well use 1 there. So now we've just left those 3 players behind who are not affecting the game. They kind of haven't been affecting the game for quite a while. All they've done is tied these 2 up, and now we've just run away. And we're outnumbering our opponents too, with the removals we've had. I think that was an accidental dodge that failed. To sort of, it was cutting the corner there, but this thrower was marking that square. So knock that thrower down. We might as well hang on till turn 16, especially at this point, rather than giving the opponents 2 turns back. This was accidentally a 1 dice. I totally, like, this guy's laying here, but obviously he's laying down, doesn't have a tackle zone, isn't an assist, so a bit more careless play. I've got away with a few careless things in this. Well, I suppose was it turn 1 when I rolled an accidental 1 dice? There was a skull, so I didn't have much effect on the game. And here, for some reason, I decided I'd rather that guy score, so I'll throw the ball. and over to the Amazons. Yeah, this guy's closer to a level. He'd have been up to 14 points. And I think that was an accidental dodge into tackle zones. And injured for a badly hurt. But I have, so last turn, so I have to score to win, but I'm going to look at 3 dice block with a reroll with a block player to see if I can get one more. And then the Amazons will have 1 turn to win the game. So a bit of coverage, just in case, because they do still have players who can score. So if this does all go horribly wrong with a Hex Skulls, so don't get knocked down there, but I'm not re-rolling it because the triple Skulls means I don't win the game, and I lose out on 3 points for this catcher in the hope of trying to get 2 on that one. And that's 2 and up with 1 turn to go for the Amazons. So my knockout's back. 2 injuries, both their knockouts back. So saving their good knockout rolls for right at the end. And we set up in the same way with our 11 remaining players. Both of these casualties not from Amazon blocks, one from the fireball, one from a failed dodge. So not a lot of points going around for the Amazons in this game. I think they've just had a touchdown so far and they're MVP. So high kicks, a free catch attempt for their thrower, who they're going to try and chuck the ball to this one with. We have a knockdown there. So just for a stun. Knockdown for that blitzer is a knockout. So I've definitely had a few knockouts, but it's not necessarily helped because I've been keeping up removals wise. I'm going to go for the throw here, which I think is probably the last action. I blocked all these players. And there's another point for them. Oh yeah, and a bit of determination to finish with the ball in my half. Sees us end the game. With a 2-1 win, so not an amazing MVP for this lineman who is probably basically complete already. I don't think there's much more you can have for this one. Not bad on the thrower. I think there were better places it could have landed, but it does put that thrower 1 throw away from levelling again, which would actually put them on the same star player points as the one he replaced after the first game this season. So 4 games to get 15 points, pretty good. Only 1 MVP as well, I think. I'm pretty sure it was only 1, and 10 throws. Yeah, 10 passes, 1 MVP in 3 games. Pretty good going. But yeah, that's how we end. Keeping up with Amazon's blocking is quite good. We did get more out of it with the 2 casualties. I think they were both that mighty blow catcher. Yeah, 2 casualties on that. There was another one as well. Someone else got a casualty because there was an apothecary one. I can't think who that would have been. That was a touchdown. That was a throw. Would have been this player? No, that's a catcher as well. So that was a throw and a I don't know where that one came from. Yeah, anyway, 1 game to go in this game round. I don't know when this is happening. I know they were both busy till after Christmas, but we're now well after Christmas, and so I'll have to chase up when that game's gonna take place. We stand at the moment like this, so the teams to play are these 2 in the middle, 3 and 4. I think when we get to playoffs, because we've normally had 8 teams, so we go into 2 separate of 4. I think we'll probably give each of the bottom 2 teams, I'm just pointing at those teams because they're there at the moment, but 5th and 6th when they end could have probably an AI, a knockout game against an AI team, which neither of these should lose. and then fifth and sixth will play each other for the final, but they'll still get a game of development out of it, and we'll do the normal first against fourth, second against third, and then into finals and third places to decide our overall rankings for the season. Yeah, that's how we stand. That game to go, and then next week we've got the final regular season games, which are Amazon's Undead, Dark Elves, Chaos, and Nurgle against High Elves. So I haven't played this Nurgle team since the beginning of Season 5, where both teams were unskilled, just fresh teams. Now they're looking quite different. Team values are fairly similar, so there's not going to be any inducements coming into it. We're slightly lower, but can't afford anything. And this is how we look. Did we have anyone level? Oh, the wrestle guy leveled and took dodge. That's the only level we got out of that game. And Amazons, I don't think I had any. We are missing this catcher next time. Oh, we bought a new lineman as well, so we are up to 14 players overall, but 13 next game. The Amazons, yeah, I'm pretty sure no one leveled. Yeah, but they didn't buy anyone new or lose anyone, so they've got their full team next time round, and they've got 150k to spend if they want it. I wonder if the Undead, because the Undead are still sitting on all this money, must make sure they spend at least 50 by the next game, and can definitely, I think, in my position, I'd be firing that skeleton, one more unleveled zombie with no points probably, and then buying 2 ghouls with all this cash you're sitting on, because their actual team value is 1460 at the moment. There's just 50 being added on for that, which is giving up inducements. Nurgle team we've got to play next week. I want to look at these. They do have quite a bit of tackle, which is valuable this league. They've got 3 tackle players, which is more than me, but they've got only 1 guard, which is the same as me. And it's on the Beast of Nurgle. So I've not had to face that many strength 5 players with this team, but this will be a bit tough. Yeah, so let's see how we go. They've just got the 1 dodge player, 1 diving tackle who I have to look out for. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy game at all, but it never is against this coach anyway, with whatever team he's got. Yeah, there we go. 1 game to go, which, depending on when it happens, we might have in this playlist, but otherwise it will be match round 5.